I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you maintain a sense of personal connection and kind of even just a sense of humanity in this kind of professional relationship. How do you bring that in as an important dimension of a mentor-mentee relationship?
Actually, sometimes it's really difficult because for me, I always emphasize, especially, when I'm invited for graduate institute or for international organizations mentorship program, it's not in my hand to choose. And I try to cope the best, with my mentees. But sometimes it's not easy because they come from different cultures, they come from different backgrounds, and sometimes understanding each other, it's really because we have cultural issues, like I have to behave in a way that I can have the equal relationship with everyone. Like one-to-one mentorship sessions, it's easier because in the very first session, I always ask my mentees how they want the mentorship sessions to be. And honestly, sometimes, I can say maybe 10% or 20% of my mentees were really difficult to manage or work with, not even manage to work with. But normally we find, because sometimes they have a blurry imagination what mentor is doing exactly. Am I a consultant? Am I an advisor? What is the difference between a mentor, coach? And sometimes they think the tangible result is in my hand and I have to spoon feed my mentees, which is not true. So in the beginning, I tried to provide the basic or background info about how the mentorship could go ahead. Especially I had two mentees that they had very intense, severe depression. So because a mentor is not a therapist, and it's really difficult that you try to motivate or give energy or inspiration. For example, now I'm working remotely with the women in Iran, and women are under the attack, under the violence, murder by the Islamic government. And how I can give them hope, how I can mentor them, how can I inspire them so that they don't give up. So this is not easy. Sometimes after mentorship session, I feel like I lost all my energy. I need to lie down. I need to take a nap. I need to go to the nature to walk a little bit. It's sometimes a high pressure, especially if the mentee is coming from a different background or a difficult, situation. But I always try to somehow through, communication, because sometimes they're like, okay, what do you do as mentor? If, for example, we finish 3, 5, 7 sessions, what would we achieve afterwards? And another issue is that sometimes my mentees are so overqualified in terms of career, and they have impressive work background, and they come to me for helping them for career paths. And I'm like, I also need a mentor for my own career paths. You cannot fit one size, solution to all sessions or all people that you're working with. So for each and every occasion, for each and every session, I try to cope according to the condition that I have. When I speak to a woman from Africa or South Africa, is different from someone that I was speaking to from Kenya, or someone from Iran is different from like a mentee that I have in Geneva from Switzerland. So it really depends, but what is it? It's really important for me personally, because this is my character. I cannot work without having established relationship. If I cannot have good interaction, I cannot be an effective mentor. So for me, it's really important to have an effective relationship with the mentees. Sometimes I see that the mentees, they cope with after one session, after 2 sessions, they're really like trying to have a better interaction. And of course, between each and every mentorship session, I'm in contact with my mentees, because I don't want them to limit themselves to the session only, so we have this interaction between the sessions as well, and I ask them to do a list of things to do, like based on what is at a stake. So for me, mentorship is also a challenge, to improve my own skills. It's a learning process. It's really a learning process, and as I mentioned now, especially with certain group of women, it's not easy. It is like I have limited the number of my sessions recently because it takes a lot of energy.